Derrick was a light kid around his town. Derrick's mother, Doreen, took him to a day camp locally. Every day, she strolled him there. Similar to it was an impasse road, so there was no road crossing that should have been finished. So it was the August 2nd of 1993. In the first part of the day, Derrick's sibling Dalton was having a tantrum. He was giving his mother trouble. They were at that point behind schedule for his camp. Furthermore, Derrick asked his mother said, "Don't stress over it. I will stroll to the camp without help from anyone else." What's more, she said that was fine, and she chose to allow him to do it. It was a mistake since Derrick, lamentably, would die 5 minutes of going out. Sometime after that, Doreen came to get her child from camp, but he was not there. Nobody had at any point seen him. There's a vacant field out there. A wide range of various children got picked up. What's more, he was gone. Nobody saw him come that day or anything. So clearly, they called the police. Police discovered Derrick's body clubbed, pounded into the ground, lying in a field near the day camp he should be. There was one kid, however, that professed to have seen Derrick that day. Also, his name is Eric Smith. Eric was 13 at that point, and his story was that he was strolling back from the day camp that morning as Derrick was walking there. Also, Eric was at that point being sent home for terrible conduct that day. He asserted that he saw him with his lunchbox, and he was wearing a white shirt and portray him and everything. Yet, agents continued to converse with him, and they began seeing some real, odd things. What's more, this continued for 2 or 3 days. His entire story wasn't appearing well and good. He went out and showed them where he was standing when he saw Derrick. Also, it didn't bode well. Like, it wouldn't have been workable for him to see him from where he said he was. He likewise got some information about his relatives, as odd inquiries like DNA and how they get somebody. Also, what occurs if a child did it? At the point when they discovered Derrick, they tracked down a crushed banana from his lunchbox. Furthermore, there was a neighbor who had known Eric for some time. Also, she had Eric over to her home a day with a few different children, and she chose to try something. Not long after the trial of Eric's neighbor, Eric Smith admitted that he executed Derrick Robie. Eric carried on with a ton in his life, and he was inadequately harassed. He had no companions. His family discusses how Eric had outrage issues. His father clarifies that he advised Eric to punch things when he blew up to manage his outrage and wasn't giving him substantial assistance with his displeasure issues. What's more, when he was kicked out of the camp so promptly toward the beginning of the day, similar to when he just began, he was furious. He didn't know how to manage his outrage, and his father instructed him to punch things. He chose to bait little Derrick. He's 13, Derrick's barely short of 5. So he drew him out of control. He said that he had an easy route to arrive. However, Eric brought him into the field territory, and Eric choked him with a stick, ruthlessly beat his body with a stone. He said that he froze, and Eric needed to ensure that Derrick was dead so he wouldn't have the option to fall into difficulty. Derrick wouldn't have the opportunity to tell on him. So he utilized that stick to ensure his heart had halted. His sister asserts that she was sexually abused by their stepfather and thinks that Eric was also. Yet, a great deal of misuse Eric will not discuss even right up till the present time. There was no proof that Ted Smith or any other individual explicitly maltreated Eric. He had a ton of formative issues. Also, one of the primary reasons individuals treated this so appropriately is that Eric murdered a feline. A neighbor's cat choked at it with a sack, held it over its head until he passed on, and slaughtered his neighbor's kitten. Does this imply that he's a characteristic conceived executioner? Would it be a good idea for him to at any point be allowed an opportunity to vindicate himself and be driven once more into society? That is the place where the contention comes in. Would it be advisable for him to be delivered on parole? Eric was attempted as a grown-up, which is insane. He was just 13 at that point. What's more, he was condemned to 9 years of existence with the chance of parole. From the start, he was in adolescent jail until 2001, where he was moved to a grown-up genuine nation jail. So a ton extraordinary. It's been more than 9 years. Eric gets a parole meeting like clockwork. Also, he has now been denied parole multiple times. He's had 8 parole gatherings. Furthermore, when you tune into how he has transformed, he has developed a ton. Individuals that work straightforwardly with him say that he has made fantastic enhancements. He's become a decent individual. Eric himself discusses how he might want to help kids battling outrage issues or in comparative circumstances and need assistance. He says it was only an off-base second he came to accept what he was doing at that point. Who is mindful here? Is it Eric? Is it his parents? Would it be advisable for him to get an opportunity to carry on with daily existence, possibly buy and do helpful for the world? Or on the other hand, would it be advisable for him to remain in jail for the remainder of his life? Do share your thoughts.